Some companies have a Cyber Monday sale, but here at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, we have a Cyber Week sale. With our Cyber Week special, you can spend less than $100 per month for the next 6 months, and you will get every play your favorite handicapper releases. Let's suppose you already signed up for a subscription. In that case, this will add an additional 180 days and extend any current package you have. No one deserves a gift more than you, so why not treat yourself to the best gift of all and get 1, 2, or even 3 cappers for only $599 each. This offer expires Sunday, December the 6th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time.
Teddy covers Lawrence Presman. Thank you guys all for joining us. It's Wager Talk today. And Teddy, I hit a PB on the Peloton, so I'm feeling good. It's going to be a great show, Dave. Cokin, right off the bat, Western Virginia, Iowa State, Florida, Tennessee, UCLA versus Arizona State, and Gianni back after a week's absence. We're going to look at the Appalachian State game, Pats versus Chargers, which I find to be a fascinating game. And we're going to go into the main event for UFC Saturday night, Hermansson Vettori, and that's going to be an outstanding fight. Brawlers. There's going to be a lot of action in that fight. But our lead story today, Sir Teddy, another TV game, another bad beat. And I'll tell you, man, the drama this NFL season has been something else. NBC, Fox, the NFL Network, they got to be thrilled, man. It doesn't matter if you have bad teams, if you have good teams. It just seems like the end is drama packed. You watch it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you have NFL on a Wednesday afternoon, you know I'm watching it, of course. Prez, there aren't many NFL games that I miss, at least putting on. But that was a start to finish. And let's start with this. All right. I'll talk about it a little more in bad beats, bad bets, bad looks, but Pittsburgh wasn't the right side. All right. Even though the Steelers did not play well, really, on either side of the football. But this was essentially a coin flip game. That said, we saw on Monday Night Football the Hail Mary pass for a touchdown with 12 seconds left to cover. And yesterday, in a game that Baltimore's offense didn't work at any point. And then all of a sudden, late in the game, McSorley hits Hollywood Brown for a 70-yard touchdown. And it's Steelers defenders flopping all over the place. It's, a comedy of errors on the Pittsburgh side. And next thing you know, he's in there. And that's the cover right there and then. And that's a tough beat if you have Pittsburgh minus the points. It is. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. But at the same time, the Steelers, look at the Tomlin quotes after the game. And we played like a JV team, and they did. And that was my biggest concern about a Wednesday game for Pittsburgh, is that the execution wasn't going to be there. And really, I mean, the Steelers didn't execute well enough. Had they executed offensively, wouldn't have mattered if Hollywood Brown scored the touchdown at the end of the game, because they'd have been up by 5 scores. They didn't put the basket when they had the chance.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Teddy, this is really the story of the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last little while. This team plays up when they play the best teams. And man, I think they'd only beat a CFL team by a field goal. That's how down they play when they're playing bad competition. And I don't get it. 1 week, Ben Roethlisberger, just an absolute animal. The next week, he's overthrowing everybody. This is a strange team. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, it's a strange game, okay? And I talked a lot. I loved Pittsburgh at -4.5. I thought if that game would have been played on Sunday, the Steelers -4.5 would have been as good a bet or better than we've seen in the NFL all year. When you start talking about Pittsburgh -10.5 on a Wednesday, after they've been stop, start, that's a whole different story. I wasn't surprised that the Steelers didn't execute yesterday. I wouldn't recommend to anyone to lay 10.5 or 10 points in yesterday's game because of the issues with Pittsburgh. But a Wednesday game where a team's completely out of their normal practice routine, completely out of their normal game routine, I'm not surprised there were more mistakes from Pittsburgh than normal yesterday. We'll see what happens when they suit up against the Washington football team, again on short rest, this coming Monday night.
Teddy covers, everybody. You're watching Wager Talk today. Shout out to Davy Jones, Big Daddy, Josh D, Daniel, Chris McCain, Nate Rebus. Haven't seen your name. Love having you guys with us. And, of course, Johnny Outlaw. That, you know what, Teddy? If I'm going to make up a name, I'm going with Johnny Outlaw. That is as cool a freaking name as it gets. Am I wrong?
You're right there. I mean, Teddy Covers has always worked for me. I was lucky. Rob Vino gave me that nickname. I didn't come up with it myself. Vino, my first website was a site called whocovers.com. And he said, oh, that's that Teddy Covers guy. And it stuck, and I love it. And I thank Rob Vino to this day for giving me that name, because Sobransky does not roll off the tongue. I don't know if Johnny Outlaw is pretty cool.
Yeah, Johnny Outlaw, shout out to your name, bro. Guys, make sure to hit that like button. I've been saying it all week. And also, thank you so much for all the comments when we archive. The ones that really crack me up is they just say comment. I love it. It's so appreciated. That's funny, Johnny. It's so appreciated, guys. Teddy and I work hard on the show. We try our best. We actually feel like the show's getting better and better every day. I mean, at least I am. Teddy, he's more Pittsburgh Steeler-ish. So please keep helping us move up that YouTube ranking. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to comment on the show. Dave Cokin joining us. And we got a late breaking piece of news from Dave Cokin. Text to my phone not maybe half an hour ago. 5% play going up for Saturday, Dave?
Yeah, it's based on information. And I'm not going to say much more than that. You read the write-up and you'll get the information. It's inside information that's not inside information, because it's public, but you had to listen to the interview with the former player from this team to get the information. I listened to the interview, and that's why I spend a lot of time online looking for this stuff. And I think this game should get to the winner's circle. The streak ended last week. Finally lost a 5% play, but I'm not going to complain with 10-1 in college football, 7-1 in NFL college this season, and 76% over the last 14 months. And had the wrong side in the Nevada-Hawaii game. It's as simple as that. Hawaii was the right side in the game, and I was on the loser. But I think I've got the right side in this game, and I think they're going to win by a lot.
Well,
they better.
Dave, I've been betting your 5% plays all year, flat out. Look, I bet a lot of the guys' plays at Wager Talk. I'm betting Ralph's college basketball every day. I'm betting your college football. I've bet every single play you've released in college football this year, and I have honed in on those 5% plays. So thank you from me, because you're making me money. Guys, make sure to check that play out. You can find it at wagertalk.com. Let's get straight into it, Dave. We're talking 3 college football games. We're going to start with West Virginia, plus 6.5 when I last looked, versus Iowa State. A total of 49.5. I know you're going to talk about the side, but I like to give out the total anyway. Where are we going in this one?
Well, I think with the line at 6.5, you're going to see a lot of Iowa State money show up, because the Cyclones are playing really good football right now. They're hot. And West Virginia has scuffled some on the road. But one thing you got to factor in here, West Virginia has been very competitive in those road games. They're not far from being 8-0. And they've won the yards in all but one game. And the one game they didn't was Texas, where they were, I think, minus 3 yards for the game. And if you watch that game, they really should have won that football game. They had some red zone mishaps, we'll put it that way, that cost them the football game. I think this is going to be a battle. Do I think West Virginia can pull off the upset? I don't know. I'd be iffy on that. But I don't think this is going to be an easy game for Iowa State. Power ratings suggest Iowa State might be the right side, but I've seen West Virginia play. They're very competitive. And I think this is going to be one of the best games of the schedule on Saturday. So I would lean to the to the Mountaineers plus the points.
And I want to ask you this, Dave, because I'm getting no sense that this line is going up. I only think, it opened, Circa opened 8. In the global marketplace, it opened 7. And I'm seeing nothing but 6.5 right now on the Wager Talk live odds screen. do you have any indication that this number is going to go up, or is that just a general? I mean, because I'm thinking that the sharp money's already been on West Virginia, and when we may see more of it.
I think the sharp money already took the price. I agree with that. So I don't think it. I think it could get back to 7 with the public getting involved on Saturday, and whether you get any more buyback at that point, I don't know. I think the math guys have already stepped in and taken the points in the game. So and once they play, they're usually done.
Dave Cokin, everybody. Also, great start at college basketball, right, Dave? I think last I looked, you were up. Medium start.
I was 5-1-1, and then I lost 4 in a row.
Well, then I obviously
not a great start.
No, that doesn't sound like you, Teddy. You're only the back end of that conversation.
Yeah. I've lost. So if it makes you feel any better, Dave, my college basketball season has started with 3 wrong side losers and a free play wrong side loser. I haven't been close in any of them. So your little skid is better than my whole season so far.
Yeah, well, we just started
6-1 after yesterday. I split. Lost a game. I think I could have won. I won the stats big in the game, but the team didn't shoot the ball. The other game was an easy winner. So hopefully finding a little bit of stride there. It's early. I'm not playing a lot of games. Nothing big yet. There's nothing even close to a 5% play. We'll let you know when those come out.
As you do, Dave. Florida, minus 17 and a hook versus Tennessee, 62.5. And, well, this Florida team, man, I tell you, they can put up points. Dave, can they put up enough to cover that number?
Well, a lot of people wish they would have put up one more score last week. They stopped at the 1 yard line. They were trying to score at the end of the game. They didn't cover for me. In fact, that's one of the all access plays I posted last week. And I think the first words I wrote were play this right away, because it was 23.5. And it was like, this game's going to go up. And so if people did that, they won. So in this game, you got Florida still. Look, Trask is zeroing in right now on the Heisman. I think he's the guy to beat at this point. We'll see with Trevor Lawrence, but Trask is putting up ridiculous numbers, and they're going to try and score as much as they can. Tennessee will be starting Bailey here. There was some question as to who was going to play quarterback, but Guarantano is now in COVID protocol, so he's definitely not playing. So it's going to be Bailey. They're hoping he's the quarterback of the future. I don't know. We'll see. I think he's got a good arm. He looks like he's kind of immobile. We'll wait and see on that. He had some good moments in the Auburn game, but that was in garbage time. I don't want any part of Tennessee. It's Florida or nothing for me.
Yeah, I mean, at times this year, you've been looking at Tennessee as one of the bigger bet against in all of college football. Do you still have that assessment here for the Vols as a, bet against them or you're getting involved, but is there still value to bet against this Tennessee squad?
No,
17.
No, the information's out there on them. It's completely public, and the odds reflect that now. They're adding points to whoever plays Tennessee now. So you're not really getting value, but you still might win it with Florida, because if they're up by 20, they're going to try and get up by 27. And that's not a bad thing when you get the favorite.
Dave Cokin with us. Dave, let's go to the next game. UCLA +3 versus Arizona State, 55 on tap as the total. Anything we should do here?
I had a big circle on Arizona State and had every intention of playing them in this spot, because I think Arizona State's better than UCLA. But there's a couple of things that have happened, and this is why this is a year you got to wait. Arizona State, first of all, they haven't played since November 14th. That was the 1-point loss to USC, where they gave it away late. And that's the only game they've played. So you wonder about the rust. And now they're going to be without 2 of their starting defensive backs, who had nothing to do with COVID. They just got suspended. And, that's not a good thing. That's half your starting secondary. I don't want UCLA, but because I still think Arizona State's the better football team. But there's enough here that concerns me, so that I probably won't play the game. Now, I'm not going to flip and take the opposite side. It'd still be Arizona State for me if I play it, but I'm leaning now toward passing the game, even though the number is very reasonable. And I make Arizona State about 6 in the game. Without half the starting secondary in, wondering about the rust factor. Discretion might be the better part of valor here.
Love that. Discretion, the better part of valor. Dave, I was surprised by you saying that you made Arizona State 6 in that game. Since the first half against Colorado, where UCLA looked absolutely lost and got blown off the field, they played a competitive second half. They've looked, in my mind, they've looked good on both sides of the football since. Are you still way down on this Chip Kelly Bruins team, or do you think that they've shown something, particularly defensively? Since that first half against Colorado, they've looked a lot better. You buying it, or do you think it's just right place, right time?
They're creeping up in my power ratings. But I had Arizona State higher than most people going into the season. And this is the problem with the scheduling. They played one game, and they didn't lose anything in the power ratings in that game because it was, they got outgained by USC, but they played well in the football game. So I don't know what to do with their power rating. It hasn't gone down, that's for sure. So my view on Arizona State's still the same. I think they're a good football team, and I like Herm Edwards as a college coach. I think he's a great motivator. But, I just don't know how ready they are to play football. We've seen teams that have had these lengthy breaks between games come out and not be sharp or not be able to complete the game. We saw that twice with Utah now, where they haven't scored at all in the second half. And last week, they just flat out wore down against Washington in the second half. So I wonder if that's going to be a situation here for Arizona State this weekend. It's worrisome to me. But if Arizona State's right, I think they beat the Bruins.
Dave Cokin with us. He's on WagerTalk Today every Thursday. Dave, real quick, and Teddy, I don't want to put you guys on the spot here, but we've got a core group of incredibly loyal listeners, and these are the guys that we're building this show on. These are the guys that are hitting the like button every day. These are the guys that are commenting on the posts every day, and we got to work with them. So one of our listeners wants to know what to do in the BYU Coastal Carolina game. Dave, real quick, and then Teddy, maybe you can add your thoughts.
My number's around 12, I think I made the number. But this is an easy pass. And the reason for it is BYU didn't know they were playing Coastal Carolina till basically a minute ago. And Coastal Carolina had been prepping for Liberty. So they didn't know they were playing BYU. Yeah. I don't know what to do with it. Your guess is as good as mine. And in situations like that, you just I know ESPN Game Day is going to be there, and it's a big deal, and but I only bet when I think I'm going to win. And I don't have the slightest idea what's going to happen in this football game. So it's a strong opinion on the pass.
Yeah, and that's totally fair, Teddy. 8 versus 14, you know why they want to bet it. But guys, you don't have to bet every play on the board. Teddy, you got anything on this game?
What's 8 versus 14?
The rankings, maybe. Is that it?
Oh, the rest. Okay. Of the things you want.
Liberty's not 14th.
Yeah. Okay. Liberty is not the 14th best team in the country. Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
Of all, shush, you asked me a question. Of all that you want to focus on in college football, how they're ranked might be dead last. Or when you find a team that's ranked highly that shouldn't be, they may well be a bet against. But if I'm playing, I'm laying, and there's only one reason that I would do that. And I'm not, at this moment, I have no plans to get involved in the game. At 10, I won't. But BYU's size allows them to physically pound teams and wear them down in the second half. I don't think Coastal Carolina's seen a team like it. Remember, BYU's got all the kids coming back from missions. They're older and bigger than just about every college football team that's not in the SEC. And that can be a problem, I think, for a team like Coastal. BYU's road chalk here for a reason.
Boys, awesome stuff. Teddy, one day when we have a moment, I've got to tell you my story about when I got on an airplane from Utah, was empty, and their 5 mission guys got on to go do a mission in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I'm like, you suckers. Boy, did you pull a bad straw out of that hat. Anyway, I got a great story about that. But, I mean, My God, there are people being sent to like Brazil and all these beautiful places. Thunder Bay, Ontario is a 24-hour drive up from Toronto. It is minus 7,000 up there.
I believe.
Anyway, yeah, get Dave.
I think Thunder Bay, Ontario was the setting. Now, I don't know whether they actually filmed it there or not, but I believe that was the location for one of the great movie, Anatomy of a Murder, with James Stewart, Ben Gazzara, and Lee Remick. It's a fabulous movie directed by Otto Preminger, and I believe Thunder Bay, Ontario was the setting.
I don't want to pick on your age here, Dave. Is it a silent movie?
No, it's 1958, I believe.
Oh, so black and white. Dave,
yeah, actually, it was black and white. Absolutely great film, directed by Otto Preminger.
Awesome stuff. Thunder Bay, Ontario is
it's a good movie.
It's also per capita the biggest opioid.
Actually, what? No, place. I have to throw this in. Hold on.
Okay,
it was
your hour.
Actually, there was a big to-do about this movie because in the courtroom, it's a courtroom drama, and the victim's panties were part of the evidence, and panties had never been mentioned in a movie before. And I'm serious. It made quite a stir in 1958. It's a good film. I think it won a couple of Oscars, so check it out.
Okay, and check out Dave Cokin, everyone. His 5% play up for Saturday. Dave, thanks for your time. We've already promoted what you need to promote. We're going to say bye. We're right back. Teddy's Big Game Breakdown, Bad Beats, Gianni, Ralph, more of my garbage. We'll see you in 25 seconds.
It's not a secret how much free quality information WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet produce. And next up, we're giving out the WagerTalk College Basketball Guide. This might be the most informative collection of sports betting info we've ever produced. We're covering returning starters, offensive, defensive, and tempo rankings, recruiting rankings, head coaching info and background, and so much more. Even if you are the casual basketball fan, head over to the Ralph Michaels page and download this amazing guide for free.
Welcome back to Wager Talk Today, your one-stop shop for all the sports betting information that you need on a daily basis, your Sports Central for gamblers, whatever you want to call it. It's time for bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. And of course, you know, you guys were watching it yesterday. The NFL was pretty sick this week when it comes to bad beats. I think it was 5 legitimate ones. At least week 12 is over now. The public got their butts kicked all week. The public got their butts kicked again yesterday. Then again, it's not like week 13 has great connotations either, but you saw the Ravens did nothing offensively all game. They got a cheap touchdown early off a Steelers muff punt. RG3, their starting backup quarterback, was knocked out of the game. Trace McSorley comes in, and nothing happens. First 4 drives of the second half, 47 total yards, 4 punts, and then all of a sudden McSorley hits Hollywood Brown. Steelers defenders tripping all over each other in a 19-14 final. The Ravens cover. And it's not like Pittsburgh was a right side. You know, Mike Tomlin. It was really a junior varsity, to be quite honest with you. It was all 3 phases. We couldn't run the ball effectively when we needed to. We dropped too many significant passes, very catchable, makeable passes. We didn't make significant plays in the special teams game. Our kickoff coverage unit wasn't good enough. We turned the ball over. We gave up big plays in critical moments on defense. Can't have it. And, of course, the Steelers failed to score a touchdown on the first 3 trips to the red zone. And, you know, what did Tomlin say afterwards about all the red zone failures and the wide receiver dropped? He said it was us sucking. When your coach says it's us sucking, yeah, it's a tough beat. I don't know if it's a bad beat with Pittsburgh minus the 10.5. That's certainly the one that stood out from yesterday. Bad bets? Well, there was lots of Gonzaga money last night. They were -7 at the open, bet up to as high as -9. It was a sweat at the end. West Virginia, they were wire to wire, but they went through a pretty long drought down the stretch of that ball game. Tough team. Really impressed with the Mountaineers last night. They got the money. That a good result for the books. There was lots of Gonzaga money. And, of course, there was sharp money for Illinois last night, +5.5 down to +4.5. Baylor clamped down on defense, won by 13, and somehow that game stuck over the total as well. Bad for the books. Well, there was lots of sharp money under for the NFL game. The weather wasn't good. The offenses weren't in sync, and Baltimore couldn't move the football. That cashed with ease and not a good result for the house. And, of course, the Maui Invitational in Asheville, North Carolina. There was a bunch of Alabama money against Providence. They won by 17, bet up to -2.5. There was money for UNLV as well. They were down by 9 with 32 seconds left. They only lost by 4, +7.5, +8, down to +6.5. The Rebels got the money. That was not a great result for the bookmakers. There you have it, Prez. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Back to you.
Awesome stuff, Teddy. Shout out to a bunch of you guys. Proud Guillermo. I can't say that name. Austin, Darren, Reclaim. Guillermo. Yeah, that's better. Guillermo. And look at that. Teddy gave a shout out to someone. RV, Camden Church, another great name. Nice to see all you guys. Please hit that like button, boys. Close to 300 of you watching, 72 likes. Really need that thumbs up button. And also make sure, again, comment once we archive. As well, Teddy, I know you love when I go off topic, so super quick. I did mention
I'm taking the
a lot
over.
of people. Shut up, Teddy. I'll take the over too if you keep interrupting me. Anyway, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here like this. Okay. Anyway, don't talk. I recommended the Queen's Gambit to you all. I got a lot of people saying thank you. They loved it. Vivian and I just finished Alex Rider on Prime. A freaking masterpiece of a show. If you guys like James Bond, specifically the Daniel Craig style of James Bond, a more realistic yet very large action sequence and insane villains, Alex Rider, just spectacular. I highly recommend that show. Teddy, I know you have no time to watch any show, so I'm not even don't even bother, dude. I mean, if you ever do have time, I do suggest maybe like Seinfeld or Friends, maybe go back into the archive, something you missed from the 90s. Gianni, dude, I'm pumped for this guy. 4-0, 23-7, 30-10 NFL run, dude. Gianni, you are over 100% ROI in the NFL. You've started college basketball. Great. You always look better than Teddy. We are excited to have you, and I get to talk MMA on this show. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thanks for having me, Bill. Just doing my job. But real quickly, just wanted to give props. Congrats on the new crib to Teddy. Heard he got a new house. Haven't seen it yet, but shout out there. Hope to get invited when he does throw the gig. Ace needs to show up.
Yeah, but, that's the house.
Than that,
that's
just
the house.
Excited, man. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of sports.
Yeah. No, listen, we love having you, bro. And as you saw the picture of Teddy's house, it's an intimate setting. And I think that's really what Teddy was after. A place where he's getting old. He doesn't want to go far to the bathroom. So he can just literally pull it out from the couch and the stream will just hit the toilet. Dude, let's get into it, man. Friday night's game, App State, Louisiana Lafayette. What do you got for us?
I bet the under. I released it to subscribers. Let me see. I think at 52. We bet it at 53. As long as it was above 51, I thought the value was still there. This bottom line, let's just take advantage of some recency bias. Again, I'm not an X's and O's guy. I say it all the time. I didn't coach college or pro ball. I didn't play college or pro ball. So I don't know what they're talking about inside the huddle, but I know betting markets. And this show is screaming of recency bias. You have Lafayette, who put up 70 points last week. You have Appalachian State, who put up 47 last week. And it sounds cliche, but styles make fights and styles make matchups in all sports. And Appalachian State isn't playing Troy, and Lafayette's not playing UL Monroe. And what do we know about both these teams? They're very good defensively. In fact, ULL only 3 times has allowed an opponent to score more than 20. One of them needed overtime. And I believe Appalachian State has held 8 of their 9 opponents this year to 21 or less points. So granted, these offenses could light it up, but you need defenses you could do it against. And I don't think that's going to happen on Friday. I bet the under.
So let me ask you this, Gianni, because these two teams are very familiar with one another. They played once in the regular season and once in the Sun Belt title game each of the last 2 years. So this will be their fifth meeting since the start of the 2018 season. Last time they was for the title and 45-38, App State won that. Are you worried at all about the fact that the last time there was basically an offensive explosion?
I'm hoping it goes more like the October meeting where they scored 24 than the December meeting where they scored 80. I'm hoping it resembles that one a little bit more. And, historically, again, they're new teams, especially in college every few years, but this has been an under type series. Again, I'm not one that looks deep into those kind of trends. But since you brought up the last season, there's a little mix. I'm hoping they don't, continue into the fifth quarter of that game in December and it slows down a little bit. But I think with both really good records, the game matters. I'm hoping it's more that style instead of let's go out there and just light up the scoreboard. We'll see how it plays out.
Gianni the Greek, everybody, joining us every Thursday. Always seems to wink at us. Teddy, I think he's winking at you, not me, but we'll leave that off to the side.
Well, he likes
number one
homeowners.
What, Teddy?
I said he likes guys that have houses.
Yeah, look, dude. Your Wi-Fi was a bit jerky before when you were speaking, and I'm thinking, brother, man, the size of your house, you should have great Wi-Fi. I mean, you don't even you are literally next to the modem, no matter where you sit. Anyway, Gianni, Pats versus Chargers. And really, from my perspective, it's Belichick versus Lynn. I don't know how anyone could take Lynn in that type of a matchup. Please tell me that you're staying off of one of the worst coaches in NFL history.
Listen, I'm on the New England Patriots, and I picked on this Chargers team a lot. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I talked about who are they? What business do they have being double-digit favorites against anyone in the NFL? They had only won 2 games up until that point, and they were 10-point favorites against the Jets. We know how that turned out for them. Well, here they were again. They opened as favorites against New England. What business do you have being a favorite against New England? I get it. It's a 1.5, whatever. But regardless, the fact you made them a favorite is a slap in the face. They're not better on a neutral field. New England's the better team. Listen, I'm excited for San Diego. I'll still call them San Diego. For the Chargers and their franchise quarterback, and that offense is looking great. They're scoring points. But here's the problem. You're giving up more than you score. And as long as you keep doing that, you're not going to win football games. And unless you're getting points, it's not the kind of team I want to be backing. We're talking about laying 11 to win 10. And there's some teams you're comfortable laying points with, and there's some teams you only want to be getting points with. And the Chargers are one of those teams I want to be getting points with if I'm going to back them. That's not the case here. It's a point, what have you. I don't consider that an underdog. But I think New England's the better team. The fact they brought the Chargers out as a favorite, I wanted to tease New England. I didn't have the chance because they got steamed immediately. I'm comfortable laying the pick 'em, comfortable laying the point. I'll bet the money line if it gets higher. I love New England in this spot. I just think it's more of a bet against the Chargers than a bet on New England. And I like what I've seen of New England winning 3 of their last 4, but it's more a bet against the Chargers, who, again, I don't like them in this spot.
So real quick, Gianni, you and I, in some ways, we do things very similarly. In other ways, we do things very differently. But one thing we both do, we talk to a lot of people during the week. And I've talked to a ton of people about this game this week. And everybody I know, from a pure powering standpoint, has the Chargers as clear favorites. -2, -3, -4. And yet not one of them was like, yeah, I love the Chargers this week because of that coaching mismatch. But from a talent standpoint, you don't think the Chargers are better than the Patriots?
I don't see it. I just don't. Again, I don't believe in anything I see. The courts already proved that to us. Eyewitness testimony is the least reliable. So don't even bother watching games. Everything you see is meaningless. So I don't know. What I do know is what I believe I've seen, and I get it, strength of schedule and competition. But when I look at the Chargers, I see a 3-win football team. That's what I see. I see potential on the offensive side of the ball. I see a defense that allows 27 points a game. And when you give up close to 4 touchdowns a game, you should be getting points if I'm going to back you. As far as power rating goes, I don't see how they would be higher than New England. Again, records aside, they still got to go out there and play games. They've played 11 so far. Why do you have them so highly power rated? I ask these guys. They've managed to win 3 football games. They're underperforming the betting market. Let's see. They were 2-point favorites against Houston. They lost the game outright. They were 9-point favorites against the Jets, 10-point favorites. They win by a field goal. They were 3-point favorites against San Francisco. They lose by 30. How is this team highly power rated? They keep underperforming. Every time they're favorites, they underperform. 7-point favorites against Denver, we lose the game. They keep losing when they're favorites. So why are they so highly power rated? Again, it's all on paper. I want to see it on the field.
You bring notes? You bring notes to the show? Gianni, we got to move on. Listen, we got to do this quick. But I have to quote a very wise man. Some very deep stuff was mentioned on this show by Teddy. So here I'm gonna do the same. So Gianni, when we look at the MMA, oftentimes we do things exactly the same, and oftentimes we do things totally differently. That was Teddy's line. Genius stuff, though, Teddy. Genius. Anyway, Vettori, Hermansson, and I freaking love this fight. Vettori takes this fight on almost no notice, comes out at minus 160. A shit ton of money is bet on Hermansson, down to minus 135 in some places. Here you got a matchup with an up-and-comer, a potential superstar in Vettori, really with nothing to lose, fighting Hermansson, who just came off of a monster victory on Fight Island. I think this fight is going to be a brawl, action-packed. Initially, Gianni, I was all over Hermansson when Vettori was 160. Now that it's going down, though, I think there's value on Vettori. What do you like?
I'll tell you, Prez, I absolutely love this fight. I couldn't believe it. I'm on an island. Let's just tell that how it is. I'm by myself because everybody says I'm absolutely nuts because I believe Vettori, when he came out at minus 60, was a deal. I thought he should have came out at minus 200. I think this is a terrible stylistic matchup for Hermansson. Let's not forget, Hermansson was training for a different fighter, and then that fight got changed, and then that fight got changed, and now he has to face Vettori on a couple days' notice. Now, I get it. Hermansson has been training for a fight. He's had his camp. He'll be well prepared, but this is a much different opponent you are facing. And I think stylistically, Vettori's got everything it takes to make this an easy fight for himself. He's just too good defensively. And with Hermansson, that's where his Achilles heel is. You can't make mistakes. You saw what he did to Gastelum. Gastelum made a mistake, heel hook, he got submitted. That's not what happens with Vettori. He's a defensive fighter. Defends 67% of significant strikes, 80% takedown defense. He's going to keep it standing. He's going to pick Hermansson apart. And don't be surprised if he finishes him inside the distance. I love Vettori in this spot. Great matchup for him.
Yeah, me and you both, dude. I mean, like I said, sometimes we do everything the same, and other times we do everything different. Thanks for joining us, Gianni. It was wonderful. Teddy, you got your big game breakdown, so we're going to take a break. You're going to rehearse it. You're going to make sure it is the best big game breakdown you've ever given. We'll see you next Thursday, Gianni. 20 seconds, everyone. We'll be right back.
Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter. Each week, the Gold Sheet team delivers analysis on NFL and college football games, along with NBA and college basketball matchups. Just for $15 a week, you get 6 key release selections, updated power ratings on every team, key betting angles for the week, and point spread logs for all NFL and college football teams. Get started now by going to goldsheet.com.
Time for big game breakdown. Let's talk college football. Louisiana Tech, North Texas. This one on CBS Sports this evening. It is a somewhat of an early start, p.m. on the East Coast, 3 o'clock here on the not the normal 7 or 8 o'clock start, a little bit early. And the game's basically a pick 'em right now. We've seen some Louisiana Tech. There are -1s popping up. Total is 66.5. Right here, right now, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I do these. All right. Google News is a powerful tool. Last night, I Googled Google News, Seth Littrell, Bulls. So I've got the one coach for North Texas and the team name for the other squad. I also Google Skip Holtz, Mean Green. All right. On Google News. Then pop up. You're looking for the local papers. Not the national guys with good SEO. I don't want Sports Illustrated. I don't want Athlon. I want local papers. I want the article from the Denton Record Chronicle or the Bossier Press. Not the big guys. And then you read. And you read to the bottom. And when you find something useful, following that Twitter, that's how you start building guys to follow on Twitter from these local papers. But if you don't follow anyone, you can do this for any game. Some games you find stuff, some games you don't, and you bet the ones where you find stuff. So I found a quote at the very bottom of one of the articles I read when researching this game last night. Stood out to me with the overall handicap of the game. All right. Quarterbacks. They have 2 quarterbacks, which means they have no. Now okay, they play fast. The defense has been pretty lousy. They're not a team that you expect a whole lot of unders. La Tech has been a little bit better defensively than offensively this year, no question. And, of course, they haven't played since Halloween. So we have one team plays fast. We have concerns about their quarterback play. We have another team that hasn't played since Halloween. Skip Holtz and disinformation in his press conferences. He really does. He always makes the other team sound better than they actually are. He makes his own team sound worse than it actually is right after what is did back in the day. But when it comes to game, find something. All right. Holtz, the direct quote. All right. We thought we were playing every week. We haven't had a chance to play scrimmages. A lot of newness to it. A lot of opening game similarities for sure. Go back to your staples in what you run. Base runs. Passes that your players feel comfortable, that we have the opportunity to. Not overthinking. Paralysis by analysis. The game's already going to be fast enough. You've got to call a conservative game early, at least to give your players an opportunity to go and execute at a high speed and feel confident in what they're doing. Holtz is going to call a conservative game early. All right. La Tech's okay on the defensive side of the football. The other team has some QB issues. Don't know about the full game under, but the first half under, you read that quote after your analysis of the game, and you say, yeah, there's a bet there. Louisiana Tech, North Texas, first half, under 33. There you have it. That's today's big game breakdown. And that's what I do every day in every sport. You can't do it for every game. You got to make a short list and investigate the games that you have an interest in playing. There's lots of games you're going to go, I got nothing on this. I don't want this side. I don't want that side. I'm not going to research. But there's also lots of games you can find out good info. And when you read to the bottom of these articles, sometimes you find a bit of information that leads to bet. We'll look at the under tonight. There you have it. Big game breakdown. Back to you, Prez.
Teddy, your Wi-Fi today is super choppy. A lot of people are saying, man, like, we get that you got a house on wheels, but stop moving it. When you find a good spot for Wi-Fi, keep your house still. The speed bumps are killing us. Dude, refresh your screen while I speak to Ralph, or find a parking lot by Walmart where you can sit your house, grab their Wi-Fi. Anyway, guys, awesome show today so far. Ralph, there you are. Teddy, you're back. I love you, bro. I'm in a great mood, man. I'm wearing
Yeah,
my
you're
bad
happy
luck.
today.
Yeah, I'm wearing my bad luck track pants. Last night, Vivian bought me these track pants. I have not won a single game while wearing them. Last night, I had under in Baylor. I went 1-1 last night. I had the under in Baylor, 60 at the half. I had 83 points to spare, so I wanted to test the bad luck track pants. So I put them on at half. I swear to God, true story, I lost the game. Ralph Michaels, let's go, brother. What?
I said good test.
Oh, God, Teddy.
Appreciated you putting those on.
Stop, Teddy. Stop. We had him. He finished his freaking story. And then you don't ever talk. You know that. That's the rule. If Prez finishes his story, you don't say a freaking word, because then we can get on with the real show.
Nice. Thanks, Ralph. Nice to have you with us, brother.
Well, I was all excited. I had a lot to go over. And you say, here's to Ralph. Oh, and then let me tell you a story. Every day I come on, and here's to Ralph. But wait, first, let me tell you a story. I hear that every day while I'm waiting to get on. I have all this great information to share. I got a stack this long, and I can't get through it because I don't have enough time.
Well, Ralph, I mean, sometimes we do things the same, and other times we do things different.
And and the house shit's getting real freaking old, Prez. So here we go. Hey guys,
line of all time.
This is a college basketball angle. There's not many plays. There's none available tonight. But it is one to mark down, put down for these preseason tournaments, post it on your computer, and if the situation comes up, you play it. I'm going to get 2 thumbs up from Teddy for this one. When we have a college hoops team, both teams with no rest, so you're playing back-to-back nights. When one team won as a dog and the other team lost as a favorite, the team that won as a dog has gone 18-2 against the spread and 17-3 straight up with an average line of plus 3.1. It's pretty simple. We talk about momentum all the time. You're playing back-to-back nights. The team won as a dog. You're playing a team that lost as the favorite. The team that won as a dog, back-to-back nights, 18-2 against the spread.
So it does get 2 thumbs up from Teddy. It does make perfect sense. The problem, of course, is that team B has to lose as a favorite, which means you can't use it in conference tournament play. And basically you only get it for the Thanksgiving or the Christmas tournaments. So we'll see another shot of these where you'll have another chance over the Christmas tournaments to take advantage of this. But 20 occurrences in the last 12 years doesn't happen a lot. When it does, however, that 18-2 ATS really stands out.
Absolutely. And Teddy, that I think it has something to do as well with, we're talking November, these early tournaments that happen in Hawaii normally, traditionally, or in Alaska or in the Bahamas. These teams, there's many times that people shouldn't be a favorite, but because of their reputation, they are. So, we get that to pan out as well in this system. All right, well, we have Jacksonville and the Jets on 7-game losing streaks. We have Pittsburgh and New Orleans on 7-game win streaks. So I wanted to use as the situation of the day, look at those 2 situations. One clearly is one that you should mark down. The other is sort of nondescript. So when we look at teams on losing streaks of 7 games or more, like Jacksonville and the Jets, and I blindly run that for the last 30 years, when a team is on a 7-game straight up, 7 or more game straight up losing streak, they have covered 58.7% of the spread. So then I want to now look at subsets. Let's break it down. Well, when I put in home teams that are on a 7+ game losing streak, it's only 55.8%. So obviously, when I go to the road team, I know I'm going to have a wider margin of success. Road teams, 63.6%. Road dogs, 65.6%. And yes, I had a look. You would think if you're on the road and you have a 7-game losing streak, when the hell would you be a favorite or a neutral? And you see there is a 6-game difference, 2-4 record, where actually 6 teams were either a pick or a favorite on the road, despite having a 7-game losing streak. So clearly, that's one to circle and mark down. You have to start worrying about these teams. Teams look past Jacksonville. Look what the Browns did last week. They looked past them. You know, we saw I should say the LA Chargers struggle against the Jets a couple weeks ago. So these bad teams have something that they perhaps are still playing for, or more likely, the opponent coming in takes them for granted.
And the funny thing that you mentioned, those 6 games, Ralph, because that was the very first thought of, oh my God, in the last 30 years in the NFL, there have been teams that lost 7 in a row, and they're pick 'em or favorite on the highway, which speaks volume about their opponents. What do you have about teams on 7-game winning streaks as opposed to the 7-game losing streaks?
You know, Teddy, I wasn't even going to punch in a way dog because I had the exact same thought as you. So when I saw that discrepancy, my eyes lit up. The last time was Houston against Jacksonville, I think in 2014 or 15, Houston was actually a favorite on a losing streak. But teams on a 7-game winning streak, guys, like Pittsburgh, and let's not forget about New Orleans, if you blindly pay them 47.6%, on the road, 45.7%, as an away favorite. So Pittsburgh and the Saints as an away favorite with 7+ game winning streaks, 43.9%. So not quite as strong as the losers, but again, you start having pressure on you because of the winning streak. Teams start taking notice because you're in town. And most importantly, you are paying the inflated price that Vegas puts on you as you become a very popular bet on team, continuing to win straight up week after week.
Ralph Michaels, everybody. Ralph, what do you got for the Friends of Ralph play?
You know, I want to remind our people, our friends of Ralph bonus special. Kevin Dolan's been on the show a few times, guys, and Kevin Dolan was the $2 handicapper on Tuesday. Well, he has a 5% in college football, and it's still $2. It's not on the main brick, but if you go to WagerTalk.com, click on Kevin's page. If you have not gotten his 5% college football play for Saturday, you can still do so for $2 by going to his page. And this is really a good friend of mine, Dwayne Bryant. Every time he comes to Vegas, we have a great time. You want to talk about a totals expert or a totals guru in college basketball? I looked at Dwayne's record over the last 2 years. He's had over 220 college basketball plays. He's had 12 side plays. So 95%, 98% of all Dwayne's plays in college basketball are totals. His play for tonight, this is an actual 3% client release. Game 755, 756, under 136.5, ULM and La Tech. Tips off at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And guys, I do want to mention one last thing. I do have my first college basketball 5% play up today. My top-rated 4% plays have cashed 5 straight. Looking forward to this big play tonight. WagerTalk.com. Don't miss out.
Ralph Michaels, everybody. Teddy Covers, great show today. Chat room was buzzing, hopping. Gianni, Ralph, Dave Cokin. Guys, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you to the 3 guys who hit the thumbs down button, especially the one who hit the thumbs down button before the show even begun. Awesome stuff. Tomorrow's show, I'm waiting on Vino. I'm hoping he's feeling better. If not, Matt Joseph, props. And Teddy, Chris Andrews. I mean, like, hardcore legend. The Sylvester Stallone of action joining us tomorrow. Very excited to have him. Guy's written a book. His bio is ridiculous. Check him out on the Google, as my kids say. Ralph, thanks for all your great help, and I love how much you love working with me. Teddy, take us home.
Absolutely. Thanks to Gianni the Greek for joining us today. Thanks to Dave Cokin. And thanks to you, all of our listeners and viewers, for watching our show. We'll be back again in 23 hours and, about 2 minutes. on Wager Talk Today, Friday. Between now and then, enjoy the game and good luck tonight.
Some companies have a Cyber Monday sale, but here at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, we have a Cyber Week sale. With our Cyber Week special, you can spend less than $100 per month for the next 6 months, and you will get every play your favorite handicapper releases. Let's suppose you already signed up for a subscription. In that case, this will add an additional 180 days and extend any current package you have. No one deserves a gift more than you, so why not treat yourself to the best gift of all and get 1, 2, or even 3 cappers for only $599 each. This offer expires Sunday, December the 6th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time.